Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Tuesday, November 11th. It is 6:24 right now. We got market opening up in about 6 minutes. So I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. So just a reminder, guys, futures trading involves substantial risk of loss and isn't suitable for all investors. You can lose more than your initial investment, and nothing you see here should be taken as financial advice or a solicitation to participate in any trading program. Everything I'm doing today is for educational and informational purposes only. I'm just walking through my own analysis and my own trades. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. And if I reference any backtest or hypothetical performance, understand that those results have limitations and don't reflect actual trading. Cody Kite Capital LLC is registered with the CFTC as a commodity trading advisor and is a member of the National Futures Association. I may hold positions in the markets discussed, and my views can change at any time based on the market conditions. So, all right, guys, let's get started. So, again, guys, good morning, guys. It is Tuesday, November 11th. It is 6:26. Markets going to open in about a few minutes. Obviously, direction for the breakout is against, so we'll be looking at that. Looking over here at the overall trend, so the 1 minute is currently neutral. You can see prices in between the pivots. The trend meter is slightly green. Price is kind of going sideways with regard to the pivots. The 5 minute is bullish, 15 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 1 hour is bullish, and the 4 hour here is bullish. You can see price is above the pivots, trend meter is green, pivots are angling up. So with that being the case, we have more of a bullish bias today with regard to the trend. Looking over here at the market structure, you can see on the 1 minute, 5, 15, 1 hour, 4 hour, price is bullish down here, 30 minutes bearish. So with that being the case, we're probably gonna be looking for some possible buys today. I mean, we'll see what happens when market opens up, but we'll possibly be looking for some buys today. As you guys know, we have the government shutdown possibly coming to an end, um, in the next couple of days, hopefully. And hopefully from there, market will start moving a little more smoother and more directional. But we'll see. I mean, we don't want to predict, right? We just want to go and react to the market as it moves with us. So we'll see what happens here shortly as market opens up. But again, if you guys are looking to take the breakout, it's going to be against momentum, as you guys can see over here. Momentum is currently bearish, so it looks like it's possibly going to be a buy, but we'll see what happens here when market actually opens up. Statistics over here for the breakout on open against momentum. It is a 64.59 weighted average for the probabilities. So it has about a 4 to 5%, or sorry, 14 to 15% edge. Overall is 62.50. Buy probability is 57.14. Sell probability is 66.67. History is it's 1 out of the 3 recent breakouts on open for a sell. And that's what we're gonna be looking for today if you guys are looking to take it. So, all right, let's see who's here so far. Morning, Justin. Morning, Mendez. Morning, Maria. Morning, Ryan. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, we got market opening up shortly in about a minute and a half. So if you guys are looking to take the breakout again, the breakout on open is going to be against momentum. It's not a target entry for today. The probability dropped a little bit from yesterday. So if you look at the statistics from yesterday, it dropped a little bit, not a lot, but you can see from yesterday it was at a 70.84 weighted. That made it a target entry. Today it is 64.59. So it dropped quite a bit because it didn't hit yesterday. That's the beauty of like the algo. The algo adapts with the market. So if the market's not moving directional, it's not going to give us a lot of entries. There's only a couple of target entries for today. We have one at 632, one at 641, 643, and 702. Obviously, I'd like to take the 632 one, but it just kind of depends on how market looks like when it opens up here. We got market opening up shortly in about 50 seconds, guys. So in about 50 seconds, we'll have the breakout on open. Breakout on open is going to be a buy, it looks like. Yeah. So if you guys are looking to take the breakout on open, it is going to be a buy for today. So we'll see what happens here shortly when market opens up. Again, I'm not taking the breakout on open because, we talked about it being a toss-up. Just another reminder, guys, the reason why it was a toss-up yesterday was because we had news over the weekend, right? We had the government shutdown news. That's why it's a toss-up because you don't know what's going to happen. It's like having high impact news right before market open. It's that's the reason why I don't like taking the breakout on open because there's always stuff that happens right before market opens up, and stuff like that kind of could throw price around in a random direction. So right here, full TP on that breakout on open. So like I said, the trade mean when I say it's a toss up, it doesn't mean it's a bad trade. It just means that you don't really know which direction it's going to spike to. But here goes the breakout on open, full TP right there for 40 points. If you guys are going for 50 points, the 50 points also hit. If you guys are going for 80 points, looks like the 80 points will possibly hit too. But there goes the breakout on open, full TP right there. You can see the long position entered down here and it exited right there. So if you guys took that entry right there, nice work for the breakout on open. If you went for 50, I think the 50 already hit. It's about to hit. And if you're going for 80, the 80 is going to hit as well, it looks like. So there you go, full TP right there for the breakout on open. We have another entry coming up over here at 632, but because of this big spike here, I don't know if I'll be able to get into that specific entry at 632. Let's see, Masish said, Sean, I have got part of my fully automated algo working. Does not trade within 10 minutes of high impact news. Win rate is 42.3, slowly building up this edge this week. Nice, Masish. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's perfect, right? Because you're going to keep improving the edge as you add filters to it. So I'm excited to see where that takes you. Anyways, full TP right here, guys, on the 50 points, 40 points, and the 80 points is almost there. It's just a few points from reaching that point. I'm having a bit of a connection issue right here. It's okay. All right, it's a little bit of a connection issue right there for TradingView. I just reloaded right there. So again, if you guys took the entry right here, the 50 points got hit, 40 points got hit, the 80 points was on its way up. Hey, Sam, morning. All right, guys, I'll be looking for opportunity over here. Like I mentioned, 632. I don't know if I'll be able to get into this because this candle here is just way too big. I'm not looking to get into something that's overextended. So this trade over here at 632 is going to be with momentum. I'm obviously not going to take it. You guys can see this huge, huge spike right here. Um, you got to be smart about the positions you guys decide to take. I mean, if you guys want to take it, feel free. It's going to be a buy position. So the 629 inch right there, full TP on that first one. Again, if you want to take the 632, it has a 75% probability overall. So weighted 75% probability, overall 75, buy 75, and sell 75. So whatever position comes up here, it has a 75 probability of it hitting 75%. So with that being the case, I mean, there's opportunity there, but look at this huge candle. I don't really mess with manipulated markets like this, right? When price is being manipulated like this, I just stay out of the market. But if you guys want to take it, it is going to be a buy position right here. It's a little hectic, moved around right there. But if you guys want to take it, that is the entry for the 632. I was tempted to get into this one, but after I saw these big candles right here, definitely not. It's way too big of a risk. Because the thing is, if it pushes down even just a little bit, it could stop you out, right? It doesn't necessarily push down at all. It could just push right back up. Hey, Barack, morning. Morning, Lamar. Morning, guys. Morning, CJ. Morning, Lila. Morning, Siege. Morning, guys. Let's see. Smith said following your lead and not taking any extra trades for now. Yeah, the market's been choppy. We had the message in the chat from Justice. Justice asked, are the amount of target entries decreasing because of market conditions? And yes, it is because market's been super choppy for the past 2 to 3 weeks, right? If you look at my results or just my trading in general, I've been taking a lot less trades, right? I took 2 trades last week. The week before that, I took 2 trades. Week before that, I took 2 trades. The weeks before that, I took 3 days of trading. The day before that, or the week before that, 5 days of trading, and the week before that, 5 days of trading as well, right? So we went from taking a bunch of trades here from the first week of October, second week of October, third week of October, a decent amount of trades, and then we started to slow down towards the end of October, right? Because the market started to go sideways for the most part, either sideways or like very choppy. That's just how the market is, right? Market's not always going to be perfect. You have to understand that there's going to be times where you have to be able to sit on the sidelines and just wait for the market to kind of stabilize a little bit before you start jumping into positions. So just keep that in mind, guys. The market's not going to be that easy. If it was that easy, everybody would be killing the market, right? They're not. Like, realistically, there's only a handful of people who are actually doing well in the market consistently, and that's because they know when to act and they know when not to act. So again, the entry right here at 632 is currently running. I was looking to maybe get into that, but obviously you can see because of these big candles right here for open, obviously not looking to get into those trades there. The next entry that I'll be looking to get into will be right here at 641. So at 641, we have an entry over here with momentum. The weighted average for probability is 66.67. Overall is 50%. Buys are 83.33, and the sell percentage is 30%. So with that being the case, I'll be looking to get into that a little later. But right now, specifically, I'm not looking to get into anything here. The 632 entry is running, so I'll go ahead and just add this or update this right here. So the first entry right here hit. The entry right here at 632 is currently running right now with momentum. So it's pushing up right there. You can see the long position was from right here. It's push up and profit is actually looking pretty good so far as it pushes back up. It looks like it's going to fill this gap right here at this big red candle. It's pushing right up from there. It's going to push up and fill this big red candle here, at least to the 50% or it's already at the 50% mark. And just a little bit farther. If it fills a whole candle there, it's going to hit target and full TP right there. So if you guys took this trade, full TP at 632, like I said, it's a risky entry, but the algo here is identifying these perfectly, right? Identify the 629 full TP, identify the 632 full TP right there. It had a 75% probability. So, I mean, you had a pretty decent edge on that. It's about a 15-point edge, or not, 25-point edge, actually, in comparison to everything else here. So two back-to-back wins right here for the algo. If you guys took those trades, two trades that I was possibly looking to get into, but obviously the market manipulation prevented me from getting into those. But today's algo entries, 6:29 a.m. The breakout. I'll probably never take the breakout, but break it on open. But I'll just mark it up here so that you guys can see. 2R 632. 2R total trades. Or I'll just put total. 2 wins, 0 losses, plus 4R. See, the thing is, I might start taking the breakout at some point in the future, but not right now because all my accounts are linked. Once the hedge fund clients move over to StoneX, I can possibly take the breakout on open because I'll just be trading my prop accounts for that opening trade. All right, guys, so price is pushing up higher as we speak. Next entry is at 641, so it's going to come up in about 3 minutes. Yeah, the breakout on open is cool in a sense, but only if you're applying it with accounts that you don't really care about for the most part. Because the breakout can easily blow your account, realistically. Obviously there could be a lot of slippage here, like if it shoots past your stop loss, right? So for example, this entry over here at 632, this is for a buy and this thing shot right through, right? If you took the sell here instead, this could have easily blown your account because it could have shot right through your stop loss and not trigger it. That's the main reason why I can't trade the breakout on open for the hedge accounts, right? Because the hedge clients, that's real money. So just something to keep in mind. But the next entry that I'm looking for is going to be right here at 641. So I'll be looking to see where this ends up going. Right now, it looks like price here is starting to kind of consolidate a little bit. Let me go over here to the clean chart or the main chart. I'm going to go mark up some structure here. So there is a balance right here. Balance. I got a support level right here. Another support level. I got some more support levels down here. I mean, there's a bunch of support levels down here. Obviously, price is probably not going to come down here, but so I think this 642 entry is going to be Our 641 entry is going to be a little tricky, guys. The reason why I think it's going to be a little tricky is because of well, I guess we'll see. So let me see. I'm going to mark this up real quick. I'm just going to mark up some structure here just in case to see how price, pushes past this area. Not necessarily, because I don't want price to be stuck here if I'm going to be looking to get this position in. So I'm just drawing structure here to show you guys what's going to prevent me from getting into this position here. So see how we're getting a consolidation within this area? The entry I was looking to take was right here at 641. You don't want to take a trade when price is consolidating sideways like this, right? Because we're going with momentum. If price can break above this area, then I'll possibly look to ride this up higher. But because it's consolidating right here, this isn't a good trade to take when price is with momentum, right? If price is consolidating like this, then this is a good trade to take if it's against momentum, right? Like for example, we have an against momentum trade right here at 716. You don't want to be you don't want to get into a with momentum trade when price is not actually moving with momentum, if that makes sense to you guys. See, this here is not moving with momentum. We're starting to lose power right here, and it's not really pushing up any stronger. So I'm not looking to get into this trade right here at 641, guys. If you guys want to take it, I mean, feel free. If the sell signal came up right here, like see how we have a pending sell signal right here? If this came up on this candle and this closed below this point right here, then okay, great. I would take that trade. But because price here is currently going back and forth within this area, I don't want to get caught in the chop because like I mentioned before, so check this out. If you guys are going to take this trade here for a buy, this is going to be really, really tricky because your stop loss is really tight. So if you get caught in the chop right here, right, if price ends up chopping within this area and pulls up like that, then you're screwed, right? She'll get stopped out before it hits your target. So again, if you guys want to take this trade right here at 641, this is going to be a buy entry. If you guys want to take it, the candle's closing in about 5 seconds. You guys are more than welcome to take the trade. I'm not taking it because, like I mentioned, I don't want to trade within this chop right here. This is what I've been trying to avoid for the past couple of weeks. This is why I haven't been really taking very many losses because I'm able to avoid the chop, of course, right? So there goes the entry right there. Entry is currently running at 641. There's another one over here at 643. But same problem. I need price to be out of this area of chop. Until we get out of this chop here, I'm not looking to get into anything unless it's against momentum. The only against momentum trade is going to be right here at 6 or 716. So yeah, if you guys want to take that position, I mean, feel free to take it at your own risk. I mean, it's pushing in profit. But like I mentioned before, it is kind of stuck right here in this middle area. Let's see, question over here. Let me just go over the chat real quick, guys. All right, this is going to be 643. If you guys are looking to get into this right here, there's another entry that's setting up right here for a buy. Again, like I mentioned, I don't want to trade within the chop right here. It's you're going to put yourself at risk. If you guys want to take it, feel free, but I don't want to trade when price is chopping up around this area. The next entry that I can possibly take for today is going to be at 702. I mean, that's going to be the unfortunately the last one I can possibly get into. It's going to be a little later, so we have some time. But look how price here is getting stuck within this range, right? We already talked about this. This is what I expected to happen, and that's literally what's happening right now. So this is why I skipped this trade here because it's doing exactly what I just told you guys was going to happen, right? Obviously, I don't want to fade my own analysis, but this is what I expected was going to happen here, and this is why I avoided the trade. If you guys want to get into this next one, it's still going to be an entry right there. So this is going to be the 643. It's with momentum, has a 70% probability of it winning overall, or not overall, weighted. Overall is 56.25. Buys are 85.71. Sells are set 33.33. The sells are ignored, of course. You'd only be looking for buys here. All right, now let me take a look at the chat real quick and just answer some questions because we have some downtime until 7:02 right here. So like again, guys, I mentioned I'm not taking any trades within this chop. I need price to push out of this area and I'll take buys outside of it. Or if price comes below it, I'll take sells below this area here. But I'm not really looking to get into any trades within the middle chop here, right? This is all from experience, guys. I'm not just randomly saying, oh, I'm going to skip trade here. It's because I've seen price get stuck in this chop and you could get stopped out because your stop loss is so tight. So again, I'm staying out of the market right now until price breaks out of this chop area. I mean, we don't even have to go super far out. We can just focus within this little area right here, right? This little area right here is going to tell you everything basically. So, all right, let me scroll up real quick. Zoom set over 70%. I have to take it. I'm sorry, Sean, the algo's my day. Yeah, definitely. Smith is asking, wasn't 629 going for a sell? No, it was for a buy right there. It's against momentum. So again, 629, guys, let me put the line right here. 629 is this candle right here, right? So you're looking back to what the previous momentum was. It's against momentum. This was a sell momentum. So what do? You take a buy. If this was a buy momentum, then yeah, you take a sell. But this right here was a sell momentum. So you're going against momentum, right? You're not going to take a sell though. There, of course, you're going to take a buy because you're not counting the entry candle. You're counting the candle before it or whatever happened before that. So yeah, the breakout for today was a buy entry. Does that make sense? Justice, because it looks like Smith and Justice thought it was a sell, but it was a buy for this right here at opening. You never count the actual uh entry candle. It's always the one before it. Yeah, I know it's a little confusing. That's why I like going with momentum versus against, because sometimes you'll get the momentum on the candle. So the reason why you don't count the candle that's set up for it. So see right here, 629. We don't count this candle here because you don't know if this candle is actually going to close, right? If you're waiting for this candle to close right here, then you could be a split second from being right or wrong because this candle could be flickering with the momentum signal, and for that, causes a lot of uncertainty. That's why you look at the one before it or whatever momentum happens before it rather than the actual entry candle. So, all right, guys, looks like both of the entries here hit for 641 and 643. So again, right here, you guys can see the algo is actually really, really on point today. Even though we were stuck in this chop, it was really on point because it finally did break above this area. Looks like Rashida got full TP on it and Masij got out of it as well, plus 8R. Nice. Nice work, Masij. Nice work, Rashida. So two entries right here, 641 win for plus 2R and 643, both of them full TPs. Man, today's actually a pretty good day overall. I mean, it's kind of tricky, but the algo is on point. Every single entry hit full TP. So it's 8R so far. Looks like Masij caught every single entry today. Nice work, guys. A little risky. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be the one taking it, but power to you guys for taking that trade there or those trades in general. So four back-to-back wins right here. One here on open. This one right here at 632. This one right here at 641. This one was a little tricky though. I think this one would have tripped me out a little bit because it got close to the stop loss, but it did push it up. Yeah, Masich took it on ES, not YM, but moves similar. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. ES is like YM's little brother, basically, right? Moves a little slower. Um, but they usually track each other. So I've seen a couple people where they took the ES trade while it came up on YM and they still hit because trades usually move in the same direction. It's usually one tracking the other. Let's see, Darren said 941 was a stop out. It doesn't look like it over here. Let me see. Let me go back over here real quick. Uh, Darren, I'm looking at it right here. It doesn't look like a stop out at all because the long position was right here. See how the long got in right there? And then the long exit was up here. It's based off the algo. So 641 here did hit. I mean, it depends on your entry. So if you got in late or, if you got in for some slippage, then yeah, maybe you would have lost it. But it looks like right here, it looks like it hit for the most part. Like even if you got in right here, so if you got in lower where you're supposed to, it would have gotten close to your stop loss, but not hit it. And if you got in right here when this candle closed, either way, it still would have hit. Yeah, Masij said every single one won. So I'm not sure when you got in, Darren, but it looks like it did hit here for both of them. And the algo over here, it gets in exactly. So the algo over here shows that okay, no problem. Darren looks like Darren just had a mistake there. It's all good. I was just confused because it doesn't look like it hit here wherever you got in from, and everyone else has hit. The only reason you'd probably lose that would be if you got in a little later, if you got some slippage. Like if you got in like up here, then okay, yeah, you probably would have lost. But if you got in like over here on the close or on the open of this candle, looks like they both would have won there. Yeah, Rashida said always make sure your stop and TP are in the right spot, even if you get in at the wrong spot. Yeah, yeah. So when you guys take the position, and that's exactly what I was going to mention next. So when you get into the position, still mark up your position there and get the exact price point. That's why whenever I get into something, I'll check the actual numbers here and I'll make sure my target is set to there and my stop loss is set to there. Even if you get in at bad entry, if you're off by a few points, I still adjust my target to here and my stop loss to here. Because you want to be based off the actual entry, not off your specific entry, right? Because the entry is based off wherever it's supposed to get in from. So regardless of the fact, you should be getting in and out wherever it targets the move. Because if you get, like, for example, if you have slippage and you get in like at 10 points later, you're not going to shoot for another 10 points, right? You still need to get out where your target's at. So just keep that in mind, guys, when when you guys do take specific entries. But it got really close to it, so yeah, Justice said that full TP was also done nail biter. Yeah, I agree. It was tricky when I was analyzing. I started to like, I thought I was going to lose, but it actually came right back and hit target. So nice work, guys, on catching those trades there. And we'll see what's next. Yeah, me and Masij are kind of working together to kind of improve the edge on his automation for the list of trades. So the thing is, I still like to mark up every trade here and not add any more requirements to it. For Masij is trying to add a couple criterias to kind of improve on the edge. But for me personally, for the most part, I am the edge. So like I don't really need to add those things to it. Like for example, here I need to avoid certain entries because of the market conditions. Um, but obviously if you want to automate it, like what Masij is doing, he's kind of just improving it as he goes. Because I can see things like I see things that a lot of people don't see here, right? Like this choppiness and this pretty much the market structure right here. I already saw this before this happened, right? So I marked up this structure here, like way over here, like the first couple candles. So I already identified this was going to play out like this. A lot of fake outs, a lot of back and forth. Not everybody can see this stuff. This comes from experience. If you guys look at the same chart every single day at the same time, for a specific asset, you can see this type of structure kind of build before it happens. That's why I drew this structure here. Like I drew the structure when it was way over here, right? And I knew this was going to happen. That's why I drew it right here and right here, and I didn't draw it super far out because this is where it was important. So yeah, Masij is trying to work to like improve on the algo edge. And I'm trying to explain to him like exactly what I'm looking at, what I see here, what like the reasons why I avoid certain trades. And this is one of the main things, right? Choppy markets and manipulated markets. Those are the two main things I try to use. I use to my advantage to avoid, bad entries in a sense. So, all right, right here at 702. The entry is going to come up pretty soon at 702. What we're going to be looking for here is, well, obviously I'm going to be looking for how market here is moving as we get closer to that time period. If price goes into a chop again here, which, it just might, if it goes into a chop here and I establish another structure, at this point, then obviously I'm not really looking to take any trades around this point here. I mean, it just kind of depends. We're a little too early right now, so I don't really care as much at the moment. But I will kind of identify because I'm following momentum here, right? Momentum's very strong here. If this is the case and price climbs up higher, then great. 702, I'll probably look for some buys there. But if the momentum holds below this point, then I'll possibly look for some sells. CJ said, "Can we get I am the edge on our new KT shirts?" That went hard when you said it. Yeah, that's gonna be the new slogan, huh? The thing with yeah, the thing with edge guys is that everybody has their own edge, right? Like some people like to use edge with regard to identifying the trend. Some people have edge identifying structure. Some people have edge identifying probabilities, etc. Um, Realistically, when you guys are trading, you guys really are the edge, right? Because you control your account. You know, whether your account, I could give you the exact blueprint of what I'm doing here, but at the end of the day, you're still the edge because you're the one that executes the trades, right? You can have the trades right in front of you, and it just depends on whether you make the decision to take the trade or not. For me, I've been trading, YM every single day for like 8 years, over 8 years now. Um, at the same time, right? Every day for the past 8+ years, between 6:30 and 8, I've followed YM. So for me, my edge is really understanding how this asset really moves and knowing when to sit out and when to jump in. So yeah, just something to keep in mind, guys. The more and more that you practice something, the better and better you'll get at it. But you have to be consistent at improving. You can't just mindlessly be trading and making the same mistakes over and over again, right? So just something to keep in mind. That's how trading is. You develop your own edge, and like you can use someone else's strategy, but it doesn't mean you have their edge. You just have their strategy. You got to know how to apply it properly. All right, so again, guys, we're currently stuck within this range. So I drew this lower structure here, but it's not really necessary. If I take this off, it doesn't make a difference, right? Because price here is still within this middle range. We're trying to get away from this middle range right here, right? I'm looking for price to push above and stay above this area, or I'm looking for price to push below and stay below this area here. It's uh it's tricky where price is currently sitting. All right, Brock. So Brock's done for the day. Locked in some good profits and we're good. Darren's asking, do you buy, sell market or ask or bid? I only do market, Darren. If you do ask or bid, you might miss the trade because it doesn't always pull back in retracement. So I always do market. Asish and Sean, I just have one point of data for you. When most indicators show choppy markets, algo actually does great as during the first 30 minutes of market. It sometimes goes into chop, but the algo knows that. Chop is not the enemy according to the yearly data. The enemy is abnormal direction and abnormal directional market movement because the algo can't predict that. But the algo can predict chop because it's normal. Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, that'd be great. So that's another big plus that Masij has been helping with, right? So Masij is good at like kind of putting the data together. And Masij basically identified that the chop isn't really the enemy. It's like the abnormal market movement. So I think like, this type of chop is okay, like what Masij mentioned. Um, what really isn't okay is the huge candles that come up like immediately on open, which makes sense. Yeah, Masij, this is one of the biggest things I found out yesterday while back testing. Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. If you want to share that with me, that'll probably help with your analysis and also help with my analysis as well. So we'll see. Yeah, Roosevelt said praying for this buy signal. Yeah, so he's waiting for this buy signal to come up. Ideally, yeah, I'd be looking for that buy signal too, because I want price to push out of this range, right? I want price to stay out of here. So I want that buy signal, and it could range within this area, pull back a little bit, but then push right back up. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens here. But I'm with you on that, Roosevelt. I'm waiting for that. Okay, there we go. So we get that buy signal right there. Okay, so let's take a look at the 702 entry. So the 702 entry right here, you guys can see 702 is going to be with momentum. It has a weighted probability of 84.38. It has an overall probability of 68.75. It has a buy probability of 100%, and it has a sell probability of 50%. It's won two out of the three recent buys. So looking over here at the statistics. So on November 4th, it went over here for a buy. October 28th, it lost over here for a sell. And then October 21st, it went over here for a buy. So two of the previous buy entries there did hit. You can see over here it won six out of the six previous buy entries. So ideally, I'm looking for a buy here, of course. CERN said he got a connection issue. I'm hoping I don't get any connection issues here. All right, so this isn't exactly what I was looking for, guys. Okay, so I'd like to see a bounce right here, right? I don't want price to pull back into the range. That's the key thing. I don't want price to be stuck within this area down here. I want price to stay away from this range down below. Yeah, Masij said also my data says to avoid Mondays and Fridays. Mondays barely break even. Fridays are very much in the red over the past year. There's a ton of patterns in the past year of data. I just need to find ones that have a ton of trades so I'm not overfitting. Yeah, I agree with you, Masij, 100%. I'd be looking for the same thing too. All right, so again, guys, I want to stay out of this range right here. I need price to bounce off this upper range, stay above it. So I don't want to trade within the range here. Again, like we mentioned, and I don't want a sell signal to come up. If that sell signal comes up, then we're kind of screwed. We're screwed with the buy here, so we're looking for a buy entry, of course. So this sell signal here is going to be the deciding factor if we're going to have an entry here at 702. We got about 20 seconds left on this. So for one, I don't want price pushing below, and for two, I don't want a sell signal to come up right there. All right, we bounce right back up. All right, so we got a possible entry right here at 702, guys. I'm gonna watch this candle to see how it closes. Ideally, I'd like the candle to close green. Right? If it closes red, I'm probably gonna sit out of it. But if it closes green, I'll probably get into it. There's two things I'm looking out for. I'm looking out to make sure this candle isn't a big green candle, like not a huge one. And I'm also looking to make sure that it kind of closes green for the most part. I don't want it to close red because I don't want to be pulling back into this lower area, right? Don't really want to be pulling back into that lower area there. So we got 27 seconds right here. So make sure all the accounts are good. We got about 15 seconds right here. We got about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Order submitted.
Check this real quick. $21. This will be at 61. All right,
Order filled.
let's see. So just want to make sure the parameters here are correct. It's at this line right here. Looks proper. If I get stopped out of this, I got stopped out. Fuck move. Okay, stopped out on that trade right there, guys. It's all good. That was a huge candle right there.
Filled.
Yeah, so this is what we were talking about with Masij, like these abnormal candles, right? Like we had a bunch of smaller candles here, and then this thing over here pretty much spiked down and pretty much stopped me out. It's all good. Ate the loss on that trade right there. I'll be moving on to the next one, or there is no next one for today, unfortunately. But yeah, so this right here, we're trying to identify how to avoid these abnormal candles. The thing is, there wasn't any news today. So I don't know the catalyst of like why those huge candles are really coming up. I mean, aside from like the stuff that's happening behind the scenes with regard to, but there was no news today. So big spike to the downside right there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there was any news here really causing a big spike like that to the downside, but took a loss on that trade, unfortunately. And yeah, we're gonna move on to the next one whenever we get another entry here. So unfortunately, there's no entries for today, guys. There is no entries here. For today, I was hoping we have a second entry because usually if we have one loss, the second one we usually recoup that loss, but there's just nothing here for the day. I mean, I'll look for these entries over here, but these later on, they're just going to be, they're not my target entries. So we have one at 716 later. Yeah, we're starting to get a lot of volatility right here. Market was pretty slow right here, and all of a sudden we have these big, big candles that came up. So let me measure this candle real quick. Yeah, this is almost a 50-point candle. ATR is only at 25. So you guys can see this is how we know it's an abnormal candle because the ATR is at 25. There's a 50-point candle right there with no news, no catalyst, no nothing to really push price around. And then we're starting to get a continuation even further. So we're getting a bigger drop here, about 100 points almost, as price continues to drop along. But it's all good. That's part of trading. You just have to kind of balance with these trades here, of course. So that is that for that specific trade, and we'll move on to the next one. Yeah, I was really hoping we get an earlier trade so that we can kind of bounce back, but it's okay. That's the last one for today. I'm gonna look at the chat real quick. Yeah, exactly. Masih said nothing we can do. It looked great. We traded based on the data. Yeah, that's exactly what we did there. We traded based off the data. There's nothing here to really identify that this big. I mean, this is a huge spike to the downside. You guys see this right here? There's nothing here really identifying that something like this was going to happen. Because we went from this, so let me just measure, guys, measure the consistency over here. So the consistency of the candles over here, see, like we'll measure this one right here. This was a 18-point candle. This was an 18-point candle. This was an under 18-point candle. This was maybe a 30-point candle or a 20-point candle. So you guys can see the consistency over here with these candles were like pretty normal. And then all of a sudden we have these big, big candles that come out of nowhere. 50 points. I mean, if you wanted to dig deeper into this right here, obviously there's like a bigger range. So let me see. But there's no point in going back into this. Like, obviously we're going off the data. So, but there was a bigger range within this area and prices kind of ranging. So instead of this smaller range, this is where we were trading within, right? The smaller range right here. If I take this off, you guys can see there's actually a bigger range within it. But what I was looking at right here, I was looking for price to actually push up higher. So I was looking for price to break out of this area and continue climbing up. But it looks like we're just stuck within this big range. So we were identifying this smaller one right here. But it looks like price here is going to be stuck within this big range for now. It just goes back to what we were talking about earlier, right? Choppy markets. This is how the market has been for the past couple of weeks, which unfortunately there's nothing that we can really do to combat this. I mean, this is just the type of market that we're currently in. All right, so let me see what else we got over here. Yeah, Masij said that's why I'm trying to create this automated system so we can feel confident taking every entry. It's hard to decide which one to take because the market is so unpredictable lately. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Masij said market makers are watching ticker liquidity for the 902. That's literally what it felt like, right? It looked like it was going good. So initially the trade opened up right here. It was pushing up in profit. So it pushed up in profit about like 12 to 13 points. And then it pretty much just got shut down right after. I mean, this area right here was a little tricky. It was kind of like what Rashida actually mentioned it. So right before we got into the position, she said that she didn't like that we tapped into the 1 hour sell gap, and that's kind of what I was looking at too. But the thing with that is that that doesn't always be the case, right? Where price is going to reverse from that point. But I could see what she was looking at. So if you look over here, our entry was right here, and pretty much price pulled right back into this lower range, or not this lower range, but basically the market open right here. So it basically was like more of like a triple top in a sense. So you had one right there, one right there, one right there. But you can see prices respecting these areas right here, this upper range and the lower range. Not that it matters to us because we're trading off the data. We don't really care about the technicals here, but if you are looking at the technicals here, price is really respecting, or not really, it's right here, it broke past it. But it is kind of respecting the upper and lower ranges right here. All right, well, we have to continue following through hopefully this week. So I just need we took one loss for today. This is a 1 hour loss. Um, Obviously we have a whole week ahead of us. I just need one win to basically bring us back into profit because we're doing 2 hour 1 to 2 risk to reward. So 1 hour loss for today. And then I'll be looking for hopefully another win this week to offset that trade there. I mean, it looks like price is still respecting this lower range though. So this lower range that I drew up for you guys earlier here, price is still within it, right? So we got the outer ranges over here, but this middle range right here, price is still sitting in between this middle area. This is what I was trying to avoid. I was trying to avoid this middle area, and I was hoping this was what was going to play out. All right, so we have another one coming up right here at 716. It's not my target entry, so I'm not looking to get into it, but if you guys are looking to get into these entries here that are lower probability, they I mean it'll still align for the most part. Looks like a lot of people here got slippage on this. The slippage wasn't just for me though. It looks like everyone got slippage on this one. Darren got slippage on his. Smith got slippage on his. So it's not just me, guys. It looks like everybody here is having slippage on the entries. Yeah, Patricia said, Sean, damn, 4 contracts, 435 lost slippage. That's crazy. It's 35 slippage again. Yeah, the thing is, the slippage is not just for me though. Like I just mentioned, I don't know what's going on with, I don't know if it's a Ninja Trader thing or if it's just the market in general, but it seems like everybody's getting slippage on these trades. Yeah, so Smith over here, I don't know how much you got. Yeah, Maria got it too. It looks like everybody got slippage on that trade there. So it's not just a it's not specific to me. It looks like other people here got it as well. Maria had slippage. So everyone's trading their own accounts on there. So Smith is trading his own account. He said his slippage on the stop exit was 10 points. So that's even worse. Or no, that sounds like about like what Patricia mentioned. Yeah, so let me do the math. 4 times 5 times 30. Yeah, it sounds about right. It looks like a 10, 15 point slippage on that one. Yeah, did anybody else get slippage on their own accounts? I'm just curious to see like who else is having slippage. It seems like a lot of people here had. Yeah, so Rev got slippage as well. So it looks like everyone here got some sort of slippage. Some people got more than others. Yeah, Nikki got the slippage as well. RX, yeah, but the VPS helped him out. Yeah, it just seems like everybody here got slippage on that trade. I mean, th this was a huge, huge spike candle that came down. So obviously, like the stop is not going to catch it exactly where it's at. But I mean, it seems like everybody here got slippage, unfortunately. I mean, I got slippage too. Let me see mine. Yeah, I got a lot of slippage on mine too. Let me check the math on mine real quick. So I'm doing 10 contracts, 10 times 5 times 20. So I got a little bit of slippage on mine too. Looks like a few points, like 5 to 10 points. Yeah, that looks about right. All right, so we got price over here kind of going back and forth. If you guys are looking to get into the 716 entry, guys, it's going to be against momentum. You're looking for a possible sell here. This entry is not going to be a sell. It's going to be an actual buy, so it doesn't actually line up with what you're looking for. If you guys do want to take this position here, the buy only has a 25% probability, so I wouldn't really take this here, 716. I mean, it could work. So I'm looking at this right now. This could actually work because if it bounces off this lower range, it could probably come right back up. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't take that trade there. PC said slippage because order book is getting filled at entry, not going to work. It's called waiting, walking the book when trading in live. I know, but other people here are trading on a prop account, PC. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's an trader thing because everyone else here is trading on a prop account and they're getting slippage as well. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, if it's a trader issue or if it's a trade evade issue or whatever the issue may be. But there's a lot of slippage here. Um, I could understand for me, like for the hedge clients, of course, we're gonna have slippage there, but I'm looking at like everyone else's, and their slippage is just as bad on a prop account. And the prop account isn't even on a real market, right? The prop account is on a simulated market. So for the prop accounts, they shouldn't really be getting slippage. They should be getting out like right where they're supposed to. Because Rev, he got off, or some people here got out at like 10 points slippage. Some people got out like more than that. And that's why I'm not sure if it's like a trade evade issue. It seems like it's a trade evade issue because even these prop accounts are on trade evade. But yeah, I agree. No, with the live accounts, yes, there's a the order book is getting filled and everyone's kind of getting in at different prices. Yeah, Rev is also on Ninja. So I mean it might be a Ninja issue. It might be their I mean, I don't know what it could be. I'm assuming it's like their executions are just a little late. This is like another reason why I'm hoping we can get over to StoneX like as soon as possible. Because the sooner we get over to StoneX, then the better, of course. So you don't get caught in the slippage that's been happening. All right, let's see. Sorry, I'm checking some other stuff over here real quick. All right, so the entry right there came up at 716. If you guys took that right there, that was against momentum. So the trade's still currently running right now. It's a big range right there as price needs to climb back up to that area. That's a 716 entry. It was identified for a sell, but the entry that actually came up was for for a buy because it was against momentum. Probabilities were a little lower, but this is where it's supposed to be with regard to with the direction of price. Let's see, how does it's answering some questions over here. Yeah, I just saw your message too, Patricia. I agree with you. It's the slippage has been pretty crazy lately. So I'll make the update on yours. But yeah, no, I agree. The slippage has been kind of crazy lately. Like personally, I don't even know where these big candles are like. I'm trying to figure out like where these movements are coming from because it looks decent and then it just pulls back to the range. I mean, other than like price kind of getting to up the far ends of the range. So just looking at this right here, like we just mentioned, when price gets to the far end of the range, it looks like it tends to bounce. But yeah, I mean, even looking at this candle right here. So look at this entry right here at 716. There's this candle right here at 718. You guys can kind of see it's this one with a huge wick. Like it just seems like the market here is moving very irregular with regard to just like the candle movement, the candle sizes here, of course. See this real quick. All right, so the next entry is at 728. The 716 right here is pushing up back into profit. The next one's going to be at 728, which is in about 6 minutes or so. Let me see this here. It's like I'm getting some connection issues over here. So the 716 inch right there just hit full TP, guys, if you guys caught that. You guys can hear my Ninja Trader in the background having some connection issues, of course. Just checking on a couple of things here. 6, 7. Just making sure some of these accounts aren't. Okay. All right. I mean, it wouldn't matter because I'm not taking any trades right now, but I'm just checking. There's like a lot of connectivity issues right here. So this. All right, I'm gonna go and move this over real quick. I just logged out of my Ninja Trader. I just want to make sure that everything was good before I did that. All right, we'll keep looking for some more entries over here, guys. There's another one coming up at 728. So just looking at where price is currently moving, it's respecting this range here that I drew up. I mean, pretty much perfectly. Seems like whenever price gets to this outer range, it bounces off it, like it did right here at 716. At 728, this is going to be with momentum for a sell. We got price pushing through here. See, like you guys see these candles? These candles are like very, very. Let me see if there's any news. Like that's a huge, huge candle again right there. I'm just trying to I'm trying to put some like reasoning behind like why these candles are spiking around so much. Like today's is it's a holiday too. So it's kind of weird that we're having a lot of this kind of random volatility here. There's no breaking news, nothing that came out. I'm looking at pretty much all the news sources here. Let's check BizTalk. Unless this is old, right? Looks like the government shutdown might be over. There's no breaking news here, but it looks like the government shutdown might be over. I just saw BizTalk right now. So Senate approves bill to end. This is from Sunday. This is last night. So I mean that might be the case for this like big bullish push. So with that being the case, I mean I would have figured that price would have spiked up here as well, like even for our previous entry. But it looks like the Senate, I mean they're still moving forward to kind of end the government shutdown, which is obviously gonna be good for the market, good for the economy. Okay, anyways, this is news from last night. It's not breaking news, but it's news from last night. This candle right here was huge. Let's measure this candle real quick. Again, another 50-point candle. It's the same candle that pretty much stopped us out earlier for the 702 entry. All right. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm still looking for, okay, this is the entry right here at 728. So the entry right here at 728, this is identified to be for a sell, but if you want to take it for a buy, it still has a 50% probability for a buy here. This trade is going to be for a buy because it's with momentum. We have a bullish buy signal right here. This is supposed to be with momentum. Um, and we'll see where this ends up taking it. But yeah, this is kind of where we're looking for price to push to. But right now, this is it just doesn't meet the criteria for what I was looking for over here at 728. 728, I was looking for a sell, but if you want to take it at, it's one three out of the three recent entries at this specific time. So the entry is currently running right now for a buy. Not in the position, but this trade here is running for a buy. I'm just marking it up for you guys. I'm done trading for the day. Unfortunately, there's no other target entries for me to take. So these are listed, but they're not target entries for me. So this one over here at 728, this has a weighted average of 61.46. In order for it to be a target entry like these up here, they have to have a green highlight and they have to be above 65% weighted. Overall probability here is 56.25, so it's about a 6 point edge. Buy edge here is about 50%, so there's not really much an edge there for buys. The sell edge over here has a 66.70. The thing is, this trade here came up with a buy because there's a buy signal here, no sell signal. And that's why I would have avoided this trade here specifically. We'll see how this trade here plays out. I'm not in this position. I'm not looking to get into it, of course. I'm pretty much done for the day. I took my loss for the day, and that's pretty much it for me specifically. Like I said, I'm sticking to my trading plan, guys. I'm only sticking to my target entries and for my target directions. If they don't come up, then there's just nothing for me to take. Unfortunately, so these earlier entries right here, I wanted to take these. I mean, these probably would have been a good entry to get into, but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they just did not meet the criteria for me to get into these positions here earlier. And the one we got into the 702, this is like the only one. It looks like this is the only one that actually lost, unfortunately. And the ironic thing about this is that this one had the highest probability too. This one had an 84.38 probability weighted. So we got the trade over here currently running in profit. This is the 620 or 728 candle right here. So, I just saw your message. Let's see. Yeah, Rev said, oh, now it pushes through, right? So as you guys can see over here, this is a trade we tried to take earlier. And unfortunately, like Rev mentioned, now it decides to push through, right? So we were trying to get in right here earlier at the 702. And then, so this is what I was expecting to happen. When we had this entry right here, I was expecting there to be a big push to the upside because we were breaking out a structure here. I mean, this structure wasn't even there initially. I was looking for price to maybe range here for a little bit and then blast right through, right? I mean, eventually it did happen right here, but unfortunately it didn't happen at our 702 entry. It did a full-on heavy reversal and then push right through later. But that's part of trading, right? Trading is, you can't always be right 100% of the time. The thing with November is like November's been a lot more, I mean, it's been a lot more choppy compared to October. October is a really good month for us. So the thing with November is that this is like, I know we're going into the holiday season, volatility is supposed to slow down a bit, but it is, I mean, there's a lot of different factors here. It's not just the holiday season, it's also the government shutdown and just other things happening behind the scenes. But we just got to roll with it, got to stick to the strategy. This is what makes or breaks a lot of traders, right? You end up having a couple losses with your strategy, and then what happens is people start to switch strategies. And that's usually what ends up killing people's accounts. Because if you have a strategy that has an edge, you have to stick to it no matter what. You can't just switch to another strategy like I see a lot of people where they go from applying trading strategies to the orb to what we're doing now. You just got to stick to one thing. So this trade over here didn't play out. This wasn't one that I was looking to take to begin with. It was one of my non-targeted entries here at 728. Ideally, I would have looked for a sell there, but the trade came up for a buy because it was with momentum and there was a bullish momentum right there. So that trade over there came up for a buy, but obviously not one that I was looking to take or get into. Let me take a screenshot of my chart real quick so that we have an idea of like what trades came up. Yeah, let me just put this down real quick. Yeah, so for my first trade this week, it's a loss, unfortunately. It's all good. First trade of the week. We still have 3 days left this trading week. So, like I mentioned, we're trading for a 1 to 2. So I'm trying to uh, bounce on this one over here, bounce back from this one, of course, hopefully this week. I mean, we should be able to. We have 3 days left. So I just need one win really to pull myself back into profit. Hopefully 2 wins to push us up even more. But let's see. I think ARK had some profits for the day. Yeah, so ARK over here took a trade earlier this morning. I think the breakout on open, and he locked in 250 per account. So nice work right there, ARK, for those. Let's see what I got here. I think that's about it for right now. 7:35 right now, guys. We still have a couple more opportunities here, which are going to come up next. If you guys want to take the 741, I'll mark that up for you guys here. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. I'm going to be here answering some questions here kind of in the background a little bit. But if you guys have any questions or anything that you want me to cover in specific, just let me know. I'm just not taking any trades here, so I don't really have a stake in the market so far. I only took one trade, which was a 702. Unfortunately, took a loss on that one. So we have a couple here that are coming out, but they're not ones that I'm looking to take. So let's just take a look at this 741 candle. This is going to be the next one that's coming up. I'll put it in over here in the statistics. So the 741 candle over here, this is going to be with momentum. This has a weighted probability of 63.84, overall probability of 56.25, buy probability 44.44, and a sell probability of 71.43. So this being the case, it doesn't meet target entry because it's not above 65%. But the cells over here do have a decent probability as a 71.43. The big thing here that you want to pay attention to is the history, right? It has 0 out of 3 wins for the previous Tuesdays for a cell. So something that you might want to be careful for. I mean, if you guys feel comfortable with it and you still want to take it, I mean, feel free. I think this trade here might be okay because what might happen here, if price does get to this point, is price may pull back into the range, right? So price again has pushed out of this area. I'll mark up structure right here, or not really structure, but just a farther range up here. Yeah, just a little bit of a farther range right here. I'm just gonna keep marking up the entries for today. So 716, that was a win. 728, that was a loss. So 1 hour actually. 728. So these are basically the entries which came up. Or I guess, I mean, these entries over here wouldn't really count because they're not with direction, but I just put them on the list here. Um, I mean, it wouldn't really matter. This tally here is not really. It's just for the entries which came up for today. So if you guys want to follow like what's coming up, I'll just mark them up right here. But they don't match up with the direction. Like for example, the 716. This was for a sell, so there just wouldn't be an entry there. But if you wanted to take it, even though it had a low probability, it still hit right there. So this is what I mean about like the probabilities. They help you to some extent, but they don't necessarily. I mean, you can have something with a low probability and it still hit. Or you have something with a higher probability and it still lose. But we're using the probabilities to our advantage, of course. Again, if you guys are looking to get into this entry at 641, this is going to be, I mean, ideally you'd want to look for a sell, but if you get it for a buy, I mean, the buy could possibly still play through. Looks like we're entering a new range here. Yeah, so we had the previous range over here. I'll just kind of tighten this out a little bit. All right, we're at this upper range, guys. So the entry over here for 741 is going to be a buy. The identified direction was a sell, but the entry right here just in general is going to be a buy. Reason for that, again, is because it's with momentum. We have a bullish momentum right here. So if you want to take this trade, guys, it is going to be a buy. It's currently at this upper end of the range, though. So, I mean, it'd be kind of tricky in a sense taking this trade because it might come right back down if it stays within this range here. If you guys want to take it, again, take it at your own risk. I'm not taking the trades here because they don't meet my criteria for target entry. Um, the only trades I take are the target entry trades. So if you guys want to take this here, this is going to be here for a buy. Looks like it's going to break out of this range actually. So this could possibly be a good entry if it does break above it and closes. All right, so broke out of the entry right there, or broke out of the structure. And now it is sitting at entry point. So if you guys want to take that, we have it marked up here. I'm not in the position, of course. I'm pretty much done for the day if you guys are just following along. Took one trade for the day here at 7:02, and this trade over here did not play through. Again, like I said, I would have looked for a sell here. Looks like the sell here actually would have been good because it went straight down. So again, guys, this is why I follow my my statistics here. Everything is pretty much based off the data here. And because the data over here showed that the sells would have been better, I personally would have been looking for a seller, not a buy. Just want to clean that up a little bit. So looking at this right here, so that trade over there at 741, it had only a 44% probability of it winning for a buy, right? And it's not horrible, but it's not good. You have a negative edge there. For the sells here, though, it's a 71.43. So if this here would have came up for a sell, would have came straight back into this range here. So going back to what I was talking about before, guys, when price is in a range like this, when trades are against momentum, they're actually better. So I know previously we were trying to look for, we were mainly looking for with momentum. I think with this type of market, because we're stuck in these ranges, right, where price kind of just goes back and forth like this, the trades against momentum are actually better than the ones with. So when market's going in one direction like this to the downside, then the with momentum trades are great. When price is going sideways like it is right now, this is actually better for against because you can cash the tops and the bottoms when price gets to these farther ends of the range, right? So just something to keep in mind. Just something to keep in mind. Um, as we continue to see price kind of move along here. So this again at 743, this is going to be a buy entry again. It looking at the momentum over here, or yeah, the direction, because this is with momentum. We didn't have a sell signal here. So this here is actually for a buy at 743. And here he goes, price pushes back up higher. It's really just sitting within this range right now. I know I try to stick away from like technical analysis and price action, but I'm just marking up structure here to identify like when these entries are going to play through or if they're going to not be such a great entry. Um, going back to that 702 entry over here. Yeah, I don't think there wouldn't have been a way to identify this here, of course. I mean, technically there could have been, but just trying to look back to see like when and where these ranges could have been identified. But all right, like looking at this trade right here, currently at 743, guys, it's pushing up. The 741 pushed against momentum, or it went with momentum. And same with this one over here with momentum. So this trade over here at 743, you can see the long position entered right here. It had a 60% probability weighted, 50% probability overall, 33% probability for buys, and 71.43% probability for sells. The history of it is at a one to it pretty much won one out of three entries, and I would have looked for a sell here, but this here did not come up for a sell. This is actually for a buy. So it didn't meet my criteria, but this trade here did come up. All right. So I think those are all the entries for today, guys. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. I'm going to hang around for a little bit if there's any questions. I'm just answering some questions over here behind the scenes, of course. But if you guys have any specific questions that you guys need help with, feel free to hop into the chat. But it looks like price here again is still kind of sitting within this range. All right. Yeah, I'm really hoping we get this slippage issue resolved because it's like it's fucking killing me. Not just me, but it's killing you guys too, like just everyone in general. The Yeah, the slippage has been it's been a little insane to be honest. It's crazy how much there is. Not specifically for like not even just for me, but or just not just for us, but even the people who are trading with prop firms. It seems like everybody's getting a ton of slippage lately. And it's only been like the past couple weeks. Like prior to this, we were doing perfectly fine, right? No slippage at all. Everything was kind of perfect, and then all of a sudden there's been a lot more slippage lately. And it's unfortunate because it's something that we can't really control, right? It's based off the broker, of course. All right. Let's see what else I got here. I'm just answering questions, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. If you want me to cover anything before we get off this live session, it's 7:49 right now. So there's nothing for me to take. This trade over here at 743 is still currently running, so I'm just kind of hanging around right now to see how this is going to play through. But this trade over here was for a buy. We were identifying it for a sell, but the probabilities over here identified it, or not probabilities, but the actual setup here was for a buy. The reason why it came up for a buy here is because it was with momentum. We had a bullish momentum right here. The entry candle was at 743. So with that being the case, it was a buy over here. But for my actual setup entries here that I identified, it was for a sell. So that is what we are waiting for here. That is what we're waiting for up here as we wait for this here to play through. It's pushing up right now. It might. So the thing with this right here is it just needs to push past the range, right? If it pushes past that range right there, it'll pretty much hit its target for those of you who are in it. But again, you can see your price is having trouble getting past this area, right? It's just ranging back and forth. Whenever it gets close to this upper range, it just ends up bouncing right off it. I think this trade's going to hit though. I mean, this thing's been in profit for a while. It hasn't gone into drawdown at all. So I think it's just going to be a matter of time until it hits. Usually for these entries here with the algo, if it sits in profit for a while, it's usually going to hit. The only time it doesn't hit is if it, goes into drawdown. Yeah, exactly. Sam said, don't destroy your psychology due to this market. Everything is working, and same time not in this market. Yeah, I agree with you, Sam, 100%. That's why I'm sticking to the game plan. There's a lot of entries here that I could have jumped into. Like, for example, I mean, I'm pretty strict with my game plan because I can't really make mistakes, especially when I'm trading for the hedge. So, like, for example, here, I only took this one at 702. I could have maybe jumped into a couple of these right here, but because they didn't meet criteria, obviously I sat out of it. So we'll see. Hopefully the rest of this week, maybe hopefully we run into like one or two entries because I really just need one win, really one win to recoup the loss from today. And then from that, anything above that will be like extra profit. So just gotta stick to the game plan. CJ said weird things happen at 7:02. Last week, a Ninja Trader went out causing connection issues, and today weird market movements at 7:02. 7:02 is becoming more unpredictable than CPI. Yeah, I agree with you too. For some reason, right, the 7:02, it seems like the entries that come up after 7 have been a lot more there's been problems after 7 o'clock, right? Like I think our last loss from last week was at 7:55. So like basically the entries that come up after 7 o'clock have just been very, very unusual, especially this one at 7:02, which I agree with you, CJ. It's unfortunate, but maybe that's something to look at. Maybe, stay away from the trades after 7. Stick to the earlier entries between 6:30 and 7 o'clock, and then stay out after. Anyways, guys, this trade over here at 743, it's still running. It's again almost at its target right there. It's only a few points away. It's not quite there yet, but it's almost there. It's a few points. Yeah, exactly. Sam said tomorrow you'll make 4 hour and then I'll settle everything. Yeah, ideally that's kind of what we're aiming for, right? Or even a 2 hour will be fine. A 2 hour will cover the loss, but yeah, and it'll make a little bit of profit on top of it. But a 4 hour would be amazing, right? Because then that'll pretty much set us over the top and clean things up for this week. All right, so we got this trade over here again, guys, at 743. It's almost on its way to target. It's not quite there yet, but it's almost there. Here, I'll just update these trades over here again. Full TP right there, it looks like 741. There you go, full TP right there, guys. So again, guys, unfortunately, the trade that I took today took a loss. Every other trade here looks like it won. I don't know. I don't know. Today's been a bad luck run for me, but it's okay. Like I said, it's that's part of trading. Sometimes you just get you get dealt a bad hand and you just got to deal with it. So here are the trades for today, guys. I'll put the stats over here. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Today was actually a pretty good day. I just ended up taking the loss for the day. But everything else over here, I mean, it came up pretty nice for the most part. Today was actually a 12-hour day, it looks like, overall, which is kind of crazy. Let's see, Darren said maybe it's the double 11 that's jamming up the network. Possibly. Yeah, let's see, I'm gonna update this real quick. Yeah, guys. So unfortunately, it looks like my trade was probably one of the only ones that took a loss today. Or no, there was a couple. There's like one other one that came up, I think. Uh, Wait, is this from today? Yeah, it's from today. Okay. So, anyways, guys, looking at the stats again over here, I mean, it's again, like I mentioned before, this, it turned into a numbers game in a sense, where if you're able to take more entries, you can kind of balance out. The thing with the entries from later today, though, is that they weren't target entries, so I wasn't looking to take them. But you guys can see over here that it kind of becomes a bit of a numbers game. I think what I might have to do, well, I'm not going to do it now, but maybe in the future, what I might do is I might just even lower contract sizes quite a bit so that we can take, you know, 4 or 5 entries that come up. Just take them as they come up and then, basically play the numbers game there. Have some of them win, have some of them lost, kind of balance out, etc. But I think it'd still be a problem because some people are trading with one contract. It's just not going to be possible for people to take more than a couple entries. Let's see, CJ said exactly, and that only occurred when we recognized your trades before 7 weren't as profitable. Market makers are definitely watching. I know it's crazy. Like, so last month, the trades before 7 o'clock weren't really hitting as much, right? Because there's a lot of manipulation on market open. And then this over here after 7 o'clock, now for the month of November, it's been the opposite basically. But all right, guys, it's 7:56. It's about to be 8 o'clock. I'm done trading for the day, of course. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Unfortunately, guys, there's a lot of slippage today. So if you guys took any trades with me, unfortunately, it looks like a lot of you guys did eat some slippage on that 702 entry. And I'm looking at like the others here who took a majority of the trades that came up, and all of them pretty much hit for the most part. It's like the bad luck trade right there at 702. Everything else pretty much hit. 702 lost, but then the 743, 741, 732, pretty much all of the other target entries here would have hit. So, I mean, it is what it is, guys. This is just how the market is, unfortunately, and this is what we have to deal with. So it's got to eat that loss, move on to the next day. Hopefully tomorrow will be a couple wins, and then we'll bounce back into profit. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. Let's see. Ark is asking, so if we trade all of them, go to one contract. I mean, probably if you want to be safe, Ark, because if you're doing anything more than one contract, you're gonna be risking quite a bit. One contract is going to give you about $100 to $200 risk. So if you take all those trades, so let's just do the math real quick. If you were to trade one contract here, it has a 12R, right? So one contract would give you about 100 times 12. Yeah, so you'd still make pretty good profit overall if you took every single trade with one contract. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Unfortunately, again, today, a lot of slippage, but hopefully over the next couple of days, we don't get as much slippage and market starts to move a lot more smoother. I'll continue to mark up structure here as price continues to move along so we can kind of avoid, the choppiness of market structure and whatnot. But yeah, we'll just kind of have to play through. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session.